Hey, good morning. We are the Boyles, and this is Our Little Oregon Homestead.
So we bought this house 4 years ago.
Almost 4 years ago.
4 years ago, we bought it just as a property and built the house on it when they were building this neighborhood. So originally, we probably had planned to live here and manicure the backyard and just have like a huge open yard, just grass.
we wanted to put in a sprinkler system in the back, put in grass, and we didn't really have any ideas of doing a big garden, or I wasn't thinking about chickens.
We weren't thinking homestead living at that point. We were thinking we're in the middle of a neighborhood. We're a little bit outside of town, but there's still houses all around us. We were thinking just typical house. Originally, yes, we did want more property even than this, but quarter acre, it was still a lot more than what we had previously. So it was still an upgrade. The house is 2,400 square feet.
It's actually 2,700 square feet.
2,700 square feet. It's a really good size house, so it does take up a lot of the property, but we still ended up with a pretty good amount of backyard to work with. Like we said, we wanted to put in sprinklers. We wanted just grass to fill the backyard, and we just wanted a huge open yard.
I had originally wanted to put the house farther back and eat into the backyard because...
I'm glad we didn't do that.
And now I'm glad we didn't do that, but it's funny how that worked out. The builders told us no. So,
so it worked out. So the first year we were here, we moved in like right before winter, so we weren't going to do anything then right away. Then that summer we started to do stuff, and it was going to be pretty expensive to do everything that we had wanted. So then we waited, and the next year, other stuff just kept coming up, and we just actually didn't get to ever doing the backyard. And then eventually I got the idea of wanting to put in garden beds. And so we started off with 3 garden beds, and we were going to do the rest of the backyard just grass and just have those 3 garden beds. And that slowly developed into wanting a backyard garden and wanting chickens and wanting to kind of move in a different direction than what we originally had planned to do. So it all kind of morphed into something completely different than what we had planned. And where we're at now, we're 4 years into the house. We finally started being able to do more things that we want to kind of change or what's the word, like, not distinguish, but like
define?
Yeah, like define who we are in this house.
Yeah.
So we've done a couple things inside, and now that it's spring and the weather's super nice and we're moving into summer, we're moving to the backyard and kind of what we want to do there. So right now we have 8 garden beds, and
I'm varying different sizes.
Different sizes. Okay, we have 4 3x8s, and we have 4 smaller square ones. They're 3x3s.
Yeah, they're 3x3s.
But we do want to put in a few more. Then we also have the chicken coop. You built the chicken shed last year, and we have a chicken run to go along with it. And then just within the past few weeks, we dug in an area to put a cut flower garden. And that's going to be new this year, so that's pretty exciting. And so then we also have 5 trees. We have 1 almond, 2 plums, 1 cherry, and then 1 walnut. And those are newer.
I put those in last spring as well.
Last spring, so they're a year old, and they're starting to bloom again this year, but no fruits yet. It'll probably still be a little while, but they're there and they're gonna be producing, and it'll be super exciting. So right now we have kind of different areas that we're gonna be working on where we want to add more garden beds, and ultimately by the end of the summer maybe put in a greenhouse so we can extend our growing season. And really this year is just going to be a big learning curve. We're trying different things, we're adding different things, and it's just going to be about learning. Ultimately, we have long-term plans, we have long-term goals that we want to work towards. We're not anywhere near that point yet. We're really just getting into the mindset of having a homestead right now, an urban homestead, and using the property we have, the house we have, and seeing what all we can do with that, and eventually growing, and maybe, you know, way down the line being able to expand and do something along the same lines, just in a bigger capacity.
I think it's important that you brought up mindset, though, because mindset is a change in and itself. You know, when we first bought this property, we had a completely different mindset at the time, and that change has been really a kind of a journey going, and because it didn't happen all at once. You know, like, we didn't know that we wanted to do all these different things at the time. A couple years before that, I had gone and done some training, realized that most people are not prepared for just regular everyday things that happen, like loss of a job or natural disasters. You know, like this last year we had the big ice and snowstorm.
Last summer we had fires.
Yep.
I mean, the pandemic in and of itself, I mean, initially people were panicking, stores were running out of stuff.
Of food.
So while we know we can't be completely self-sustaining where we're at right now, we want to move in that direction.
Yeah, the mindset is that you want to try to work toward being more self-reliant. And that mindset change and shift for us was an important thing. And also understanding and knowing that you're going to make mistakes, and that's okay, because it's still a journey, it's still a process of learning, and you know, making those mistakes is just as important as becoming more prepared in itself.
Yeah, and I feel like we have a pretty good idea of kind of what we're trying to do at this point, but I do expect that to still grow and still develop even more, like you said, like after making mistakes and trying things and then maybe not working, and you know, moving towards a different direction, but still with that general idea of what our end goal is. So, I mean, I feel like right now, getting started officially, we're in a pretty good spot, and we have short-term goals, we have long-term goals, and we know kind of what we're working for. The idea that I want to kind of try and set us apart with is that we're not unhappy here. We're not, like, this is a good home. We have a good sized property. We're able to do a lot with it, and while there's people who are able to live on, you know, 30 acres and completely be self-sustaining at that point, like we're not there yet, and we're okay with where we're at right now.
I think it's important. We've both gone back and forth and of going out and looking for properties that are like, I mean, we'll 20 or 30. Look. We're still going to look because it's enticing, but enticing. You know, like, we both have to remind each other is like, at this point, we're not fully utilizing what we have now. There's still so many different things that we could expand into in different areas that we can explore as far as becoming more prepared or more self-reliant. So
just using what we have already.
Yeah, so, absolutely. Yeah. Organizing things better, planning things better, and so you know, I think where we're at is where we're supposed to be.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we are perfectly happy working with what we have right now and just seeing where that ends up taking us in the future. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? You know,
I'm really looking forward to what, you know, things that we're going to end up going into or exploring or building or doing in the next 2-3 years. I fully expect us being in a completely different, you know, position, you know, 5 years from now, you know, so I'm excited to see what that looks like, and
it's exciting.
It's going to be a great journey.
Yes. So short-term goals.
Yeah, short-term goals.
The greenhouse.
Yeah, the greenhouse. We need to add a couple more raised garden beds.
Additional garden beds. Start the flower garden side, and I think add a couple more chickens to our flock.
Yeah, we have 4 chickens, which is fine. Like we get 4 eggs a day.
But
So
we also have 2 teenagers, an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old.
one of the teenagers eats 5 eggs a day.
At least
sometimes
6 most days.
So
by himself. Like we like our eggs. So we definitely want to expand our chickens and add a few more to our.
Probably 4 more, I'm thinking.
I mean, I think 4 more would be good.
Yeah.
So for 8 total. So anyway, that's something that we want to do this summer. So short-term goals for this summer would probably be get the flower garden going, get additional garden beds, and put in a greenhouse and add more chickens. Keep in mind, we both work full-time 40-hour-a-week jobs. We have 4 kids, so it's a slow process most of the time, but we try and do as much as we can within the time we have. And it's a slow process, but we're moving forward and it's going to be good.
Absolutely.